China's preparing for war. This isn't speculation. It isn't warmongering. It isn't paranoia. It's clear as day for anyone paying attention. We should be ready, too. Crossing our fingers and hoping really isn't going to make this go away. Here now, Will Hurd, former undercover CIA officer and author of American Reboot. Congressman, Will, great to see you. What are the signs? Tell us.
Well, the signs, we can go back to 2015. The Chinese government in English are saying they're trying to surpass the United States of America as the only global superpower. This is what they're saying themselves in English. This is not my interpretation. This is not me reading Mandarin. This is what they're saying. And they're going to do this by being the global leader in a number of advanced technologies, everything from 5G to AI to quantum computing. We know about Huawei now, and part of that was that effort of the Chinese government to dominate the 5G space. So we need to be ready. We need to be prepared. We need to keep our eye on the ball. We can't make the same mistakes with Taiwan that we have made with Ukraine. The Chinese government has said they're going to take Taiwan. And if we think inflation is bad now, if we think it takes forever to get everything from a car to your computer to a refrigerator, it's going to be even more if the Chinese invade Taiwan and control almost 80 to 90% of advanced semiconductors, which power the world.
You know, recognizing the threat of China to Taiwan, the U.S. is going to expand the number of troops on the ground in Taiwan to counter the growing threat of China. Is this the right move, Will? Is this enough from the American government to help defend Taiwan should China decide to invade?
Well, I think one of the things that those troops are helping to train. This is a training force.
Right.
But here's what we need to be doing. We need to be making sure that Taiwan has all the latest technologies in order to defend against a China invasion. Taiwan is an island. It has mountains on most sides. It's going to be a very hard thing in order for the Chinese to take with force. And what we need to do is make sure that Xi Jinping recognizes the juice ain't going to be worth the squeeze, because the Taiwanese are going to be so prepared to repel them if this happens. We also need to make sure that we're advancing on a number of technologies that are going to power the future. And technologies like artificial intelligence and quantum computing, these are things that are going to evolve so quickly. It's going to make the internet look like it was, it was a turtle or a tortoise. And so we need to make sure the public sector and the private sector are actually working together, because here's the difference between this new Cold War that we're in with the Chinese government from the last Cold War with the Russians or the Soviet Union. China is 4 times our size. That means we have to be 4 times more effective. We have to be 4 times more efficient. And the only way that we're going to keep our position as a leader in these advanced technologies is if the private sector and government is working together. And I want to see the rest of this century stay the American century. And we got to get this right. And we got to start having these conversations now.
You just repeated some private conversations I've had with technology executives just in the last couple of weeks. They're very concerned here in the U.S. about the divide between Washington and Silicon Valley and the development of AI here in the United States. About there needs to be an embrace rather than a push away from people in the technology industry. Well, but some of the other things you've talked about, like that kind of the warning signs, are really chilling, including not just China showing off balloons for the last 5 years, along with hypersonic missile launchers, but also raising the maximum age for selective service in the People's Liberation Army to 60, and then preparations for food rationing with food canteens popping up all over communist China. If you go through the list, if people follow you on Twitter, it is bone-chilling.
Look, you're absolutely right. All those things we should be looking at. What is our enemies or our adversaries doing and saying, right? And let's listen for themselves. An advancement that happened probably about 1.5 years ago that didn't get a lot of attention was a quantum communication exercise with a satellite into space. The quantum computing is complicated, it's hard to understand, but basically whoever achieves quantum computing and quantum supremacy is going to be able to break every one of our encryption codes, right? Whether it's what we use to communicate or what is being used to trade on Wall Street. It's going to be, it can be broken in a matter of minutes when someone achieves quantum supremacy. And then quantum communication is going to be unbreakable. And so when you look at a lot of our advantage when it comes to the battlefield is our ability to do signals intelligence, right? That's take something out of the sky and be able to understand what our adversaries are doing. We could potentially get cut off. And what happens if there's advances that the Chinese government is making on that, and they're testing whether they can operate in a denied environment? Let's say they float a balloon over the United States of America and see if they can still communicate. These are all things that we should be concerned about. And look, I think we're all old enough to remember Y2K and how we were worried on what was going to happen when the year turned to 2000. The government spent $300 billion. That's what the B in 4 years to fix our computers so that the year can be saved from 2 digits to 4 digits. Right. Preparing against quantum computing is going to be even more significant.
Will Hurd, what you say is frightening. And if it's true, maybe America should start to decouple from China. Appreciate your insights. It was great to serve with you in the House. We appreciate you coming on The Bottom Line. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.